عرض میکنم. یکی تبریک پیروزی بر رژیم جعلی صهیونی است. با اون همه هیاهو، با اون همه ادعا، رژیم صهیونی در زیر ضربات جمهوری اسلامی تقریباً از پا در آمد و له شد. فکر اینی که چنین ضرباتی از سوی جمهوری اسلامی ممکنه بر رژیم وارد بشود در ذهن اونها، مخیله اونها خطور نمی‌کرد و اتفاق افتاد.
That was the defiant statement by Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, confidently affirming that Iran's nuclear facilities remain unscathed following the highly publicized and costly joint U.S Israeli strikes.
خدا رو سپاس می‌گذاریم که به نیروهای مسلح ما کمک کرد، توانستند از دفاع چند لایه پیشرفته اونها عبور کنند و بسیاری از مناطق شهری و نظامی اونها رو زیر فشار موشک‌های خودشون و با تهاجم قوی سلاح پیشرفته خودشون اونها رو با خاک یکسان کنند.
For a man who has guided Iran through decades of strategic defense planning and regional confrontation, his words are not taken lightly, and they have clearly thrown Trump's war-hungry establishment into chaos. The American intelligence community, still nursing the ego bruises from previous miscalculations, has now been caught in a bitter internal feud. For nearly 5 days, classified briefings and frantic Pentagon calls have echoed with one recurring dilemma. What exactly did they hit in Iran? Kindly like and share this video to boost its visibility. Recent commercial satellite imagery, analyzed by independent experts, has shown activity around Fordow and Natanz, but no craters, no smoke, no real evidence of obliteration. Worse still, no credible visual proof has been released by the U.S. government confirming that Iran's uranium enrichment program was set back in any significant way. The Iranian claim that its facilities are still running was initially brushed off as posturing, but now even Israeli analysts are being forced to consider the chilling reality. The strikes were a humiliating failure. That truth slapped Trump in the face just as he landed back from the NATO summit, where he had earlier grandstanded about a total victory against Iran's nuclear ambitions.
You believe the conflict between Israel and Iran is over. What makes you so confident it is? And what do you do if it isn't? Because I dealt with both, and they're both tired, exhausted. They fought very, very hard and very viciously, very violently. And they were both satisfied to go home and get out. And can it start again? I guess someday it can. It could maybe start soon. I think a big telltale sign was when, as you know, Iran somewhat, by not much, violated the ceasefire. And Israel had the planes going out that morning, and there were a lot of them, 52 of them. And I said, you got to get them back. And they brought them back. They didn't do anything. They brought them back. It was very good. I thought it was amazing, actually. They have fought a hell of a war. They fought very hard. I think the war ended, actually, when we hit the various nuclear sites with the planes. And I just hope you people can give these pilots, these are the best pilots in the world. They're the best shots in the world. They call them shots. That's what they are. And wait a minute. And I just hope you can give them the respect they deserve, because they came home to fake news.
But once his feet touched American soil, the delusion began to shatter. Behind closed doors, there was a frantic scramble to manage public expectations and downplay the stunning lack of results. Whispers have started to leak out. Unnamed Pentagon sources now suggest that billions of dollars were wasted in an operation that achieved almost nothing. And even more damning is the admission coming out of Israel itself. The Zionist terror regime has privately told U.S. officials it cannot account for all the enriched uranium in Iran's possession. That revelation alone is a tacit admission that Iran's program continues, and that Tel Aviv's supposed surgical strike missed the mark. To make matters worse for Washington and its apartheid ally, Iran has now cut off all cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, passing a parliamentary measure that ends its voluntary transparency with the West. That decision sent shockwaves through the Israeli intelligence network. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz, typically brash and boastful, was forced into a rare moment of silence. He reportedly told aides the U.S. had underestimated Iran again.
למה לא חיסלנו את חמינאי?
אם הוא היה על הכוונת, היינו מורידים אותו.
אם הוא היה על הכוונת, היינו מורידים אותו? זו החלטה שהתקבלה בקבינט הישראלי?
לא הייתה המדיניות.
ולא הייתה הזדמנות מבצעית פשוט? פשוט לא הייתה הזדמנות מבצעית?
לא. לא הייתה.
הוא עדיין בן מוות?
עוד פעם, יש הבדל לפני הפסקת אש, אחרי הפסקת אש. בתוך המבצע היינו מורידים אותו. האיש הזה עשרות שנים...
חיפשנו להוריד אותו, או שאם הוא היה נקרא...
חיפשנו מאוד. האיש הזה עשרות שנים מוביל.
באישור אמריקני?
אנחנו לא צריכים אישור לדברים.
כי צריך לומר שיש קצת היבט איראני בדרך בה אנחנו מסקרים את הפגיעות שהיו בנו, לא במכון ויצמן, אבל היו הרבה מאוד פגיעות בבסיסי צה"ל, באתרים אסטרטגיים שאנחנו לא מדווחים עליהם עד היום. ויש לזה סיבה ברורה שכל אחד בבית מבין, אבל בצד הסיבה הברורה הזאת נוצר מצב שאנשים לא מבינים כמה האיראנים דייקו וכמה הם גרמו נזק בהרבה מאוד מקומות. מכון ויצמן אנחנו פשוט יודעים, יש מקומות רבים שאנחנו לא יודעים.
Fake news, CNN? Yeah, here we go. Wait till you hear this question.
This should be taken as the final nail in the coffin of Trump's ill-fated military gamble. For all the celebratory bluster and flashy press briefings, the fact remains Iran's peaceful nuclear program is not only intact, but now shielded under a new national security doctrine. Israeli and American desperation is now being masked with confusion. The image of Pete Hegseth, a long-time Pentagon propagandist, desperately spinning outdated footage and cherry-picked talking points, is all you need to understand the mood in Washington. The failure is too colossal to hide. If Trump and Netanyahu's forces had truly obliterated Iran's nuclear infrastructure, there would be unambiguous evidence, clear satellite images, live video releases, radiation level spikes, you name it. But what we have is a void, an awkward silence, replaced only by Iranian defiance and Western embarrassment.
What the dimensions of those concrete caps were. The planners had to account for this. They accounted for everything. The cap was forcibly removed by the first weapon, and the main shaft was uncovered. Weapons 2, 3, 4, 5 were tasked to enter the main shaft, move down into the complex at greater than 1,000 feet per second, and explode in the mission space. Weapon number 6 was designed on each side, so there were 6 on each side. Weapons number 6 was designed as a flex weapon to allow us to cover if one of the preceding jets or one of the preceding weapons did not work. The video I'm about to show you is a culmination of over 15 years of development and testing. As I said, hundreds of test shots on various models. This is one weapon. So if you take a view of this as 5 additionals, you'll get a sense of what this looks like. Hopefully you can see it and there's not too much reflection. Tom runs our videos out there. We'll run it at full speed so you can see it and then go back through it. Go ahead, Tom. Keep it going for a minute. You'll see inside the mission space. Unlike a normal surface bomb, you won't see an impact crater because they're designed to deeply bury and then function. I know there's been a lot of questions about that. All 6 weapons at each vent at Fordow went exactly where they were intended to go. A bomb has 3 effects that causes damage: blast, fragmentation, and overpressure. In this case, the primary kill mechanism in the mission space was a mix of overpressure and blast, ripping through the open tunnels and destroying critical hardware. The majority of the damage we assessed based on our extensive modeling was a blast layer combined with the impulse extending from the shock. Imagine what this looks like 6 times over. A point that I want to make here: the joint force does not do BDA. By design, we don't grade our own homework. The intelligence community does.
Israel and U.S. attacks have effectively destroyed Iran's centrifuge enrichment program. Time and time again, I can go down the list. Those that understand, those that see, those that do proper assessments recognize that what the United States military did was historic. And again, before I pass it to the chairman, because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful. How many stories have been written about how hard it is to, fly a plane for 36 hours? Has MSNBC done that story? Has Fox? Have we done the story how hard that is? Have we done it 2 or 3 times so that American people understand? How about how difficult it is to shoot a drone from an F-15 or 16 or F-22 or F-35? Or what it's like to man a Patriot battery? Or how hard it is to refuel midair? Giving the American people an understanding of how complex and sophisticated this mission really was. There are so many aspects of what our brave men and women did that because of the hatred of this press corps are undermined because people are trying to leak and spin that it wasn't successful. It's irresponsible.
And now, just when the dust seemed to be settling, new information is beginning to surface that may further destroy the fragile narrative built by the West. A high-ranking Iranian military commander, in a rare and revealing interview, dismantled much of what we were told about the so-called 12-day Iran-Israel war. He pointed to the precise timing of Iran's counterattacks, the use of decoy technology, and most damningly, the existence of underground bunkers reinforced by next-generation shielding material unknown to Western forces. According to him, the U.S. and Israeli strikes were misled by decoy targets and lured into wastelands, while Iran quietly safeguarded its real facilities. If these claims are accurate, then what happened wasn't just a military failure, it was a strategic embarrassment of global proportions.
מעולם לא הייתה עבודת צוות כזאת בין שני מנהיגים.
In sum, what was hailed as a decisive blow by a desperate U.S.-Israeli axis has turned out to be a smoke and mirrors performance, one that exposed their intelligence flaws, tactical blunders, and political desperation. As Iran emerges more confident and resolute, the so-called champions of non-proliferation look like amateurs playing with matches in a powder keg. The truth is dawning, and it's far more uncomfortable than any of them are ready to admit.